Hi guys, this is Breaker, and I went ahead and took something out of Drop.sc that kinda, well, excuse me, kinda, wow, what am I speaking with? What kind of an accent is this? I decided to take something from Drop.sc that kinda takes me out of my comfort zone, that is to say, something that is not involving a Zerg player or a Terran player. Not particularly good as a Terran player. You know what, I suck as anything that isn't Zerg, honestly. But honestly, I'm pretty bad as a Zerg in that aspect, as I am only Diamond League, but let's go ahead and get both players introduced. The upper left-hand corner, spawning as our Protoss in the red trunks. It is State. If this is the guy I think it was, then perhaps he used to belong to Quantic State. I'm not entirely sure, but here we go. In the lower right-hand corner, spawning is our blue Terran. His name is Salvation, and I don't want to even dare to try and cast that, excuse me, not cast that, but actually say the name of the clan that he's in. Could accidentally pronounce it. And the map that we are on right now is Bel'Shir Vestige. It is, of course, rather wide open natural here. There's, I don't know, honestly, it does no good for a Protoss to actually wall off here. And see, the problem is I'm actually saying this in terms of a ZVP matchup, and our opponent is not Zerg at all. So what in the ever-loving hell is wrong with me? But this is rather interesting. We actually have a gas going down before the barracks even get started. What is this all about? I guess we'll just have to wait and see, and so far we got a rather standard opener from Salvation. I'm thinking what this could kind of, excuse me, a standard opener from State. What I'm thinking this could lead to... No, there's no way it could be like heavy. There's no way it could be heavy starboard play. I was thinking it could be possibly, but by now he would have taken a second gas, but... 9 Harvesters, I'm highly doubtful of that, but this is an interesting opener that we have from State. He's actually going for double assimilators. I'm thinking that this could be a Sentry force field expand. It would be the safest method, honestly, because it does no good to really put the sentries right here, because of course Terran could just run around here and get back in this way. And also there's 2 angles of attack to come from, so it's just so dangerous for Protoss to actually try, you know, doing that. Let's see, where on earth are we going to see things go from here? We do have the Cybernetics core on the way. Factory on the way from Salvation as well. So I'm thinking we're going to see a starport rather soon. And I'm thinking this is going to be, I wouldn't say singular, but I would say maybe a skin and bones kind of 1-on-1, if you will. Factory is going to get switched out with the barracks here inevitably. And perhaps we will see only a single starport going down, and what will result from that is, I think, Widow Mines going into the main of State. But here we go, Zealot moving out, just checking around, making sure there's no proxy shenanigans. A little late to be checking for that, honestly, in my opinion, but you know what, it got out eventually. Well, never mind. I'm not the Protoss player, what the hell am I talking about? I have no clue what the standard aesthetics of PvT would be. But if you want to go by food count right now, it's kind of getting heavy for State. And the probes just gotten started on the Nexus. Here we go, the starport in production. Hellions seems to be the name of the game, not so much Widow Mines right now. But this seems to be interesting. What is this SCV doing here? It's just, I guess this guy's just moving out, checking for proxy pylons and such. Things of that nature. Looks like basically have both players going to macro mode, but I rest assured, guys, the goal of any 1-1-1 opener is basically for a Terran to kill his opponent's probes or drones or SCVs. The problem is, if we see Salvation do no damage here, he's going to be really, really far behind when he makes the transition into mech. And the biggest problem with the 1-1-1 opener is not that it's been getting done since Wings of Liberty, ever since the beginning of Wings of Liberty, but rather it's simply due to the fact that anyone can do it. But hold your horses here, Jethro. Oh! Force field goes down just a little bit too late, and we now have 4 Hellions in the main. Gonna get the kill on the Sentry, and it looks like the probes as well. Photon Overcharge does go down on the main Nexus. He's going to get 1 or 2 Hellion kills, but the question is, how many kills will the Hellions get on the probe line? It looks like they just got 2 more. And altogether, that brings the kills to about 7. The question is, okay, did he get a read into just what's happening here? Yeah, I think he did. He's like, okay, well, this is a rather standard opening from Salvation. Or not, Salvation's just like, okay, this is kind of a standard opener for our Terran. Now, the question is, what kind of a follow-up are we going to see? We do have extra gas getting tacked on. We have Widow Mines coming into play. That means we have Salvation basically going into turtle mode. He did only manage to kill 7 workers there. I think it wasn't really worth his time because his opponent is actually on an even number of workers, and it will increase slightly in the coming future, or excuse me, in the short future, simply due to the fact that his opponent already has 2 Nexus, and he's already going to be so far behind. He's going to be, I don't know how long it takes to make an orbital command, but he's got 50 seconds more to go on that, oh my. He had 50 seconds more to go on that Nexus. He only killed 1 probe with this drop, and it looks like he might get 1 or 2 over here, but this one's already used up its shot. He's gonna have to pull probes off the line to actually save this. Oh my god, 8 HP. Does he know that what am I? Okay, he does. Ooh. Oh, so just to be safe, he went ahead and pulled it back. And now that Widow Mine is reloaded and ready to go. Just making sure I didn't make any more screw-ups. And it looks like we have, I'm thinking, a mech transition from here, yes. Possibly. We're gonna see, no, if not, it's gonna be bio. No, I'm sorry. Okay. If not, it would be bio, yes. And I was thinking, okay, well, he could be coupling his bio units with Hellbats. I've never seen that actually done before, but still be rather viable. And it looks like finally that Widow Mine in the natural was dealt with, if not picked up. No, it was dealt with. Yes, it died. So if we check the worker count right now, I think the biggest thing, the only detriment that we saw really for Salvation was delayed mining time, and it was significantly delayed, 20 seconds. It's not like dealing, you know, I mean, Widow Mine drops, it's not like dealing with Marine drops, guys, it really isn't. But thanks to the extremely wide open natural that we have here, we're going to see some Hellions try and make a run by, if not try and get something else over here. Now, we do have a robotics bay as well as a Twilight Council on a single base, which can be kind of dangerous, really. That really requires a lot of turtling. It takes a lot of econ to really pull that off. Especially like in the next couple of minutes. Like, we're gonna see a lot of gas going strictly to researching lanes. These Hellions are gonna come by here and not really get a whole lot of probe kills. No, they didn't even get a single one out of that. So it's just basically Hellions getting thrown away. And right now, basically, for all the Blink Stalkers that we're going to have in production, we're not going to have too many gateways in the near future. Poor probe, getting locked in. Yeah, had to cancel that building to get himself out. It looks like these guys are all about dominating the map, yes. Ooh, but this, I want to say, you know, it's not a bad idea considering what he's going up against, you know. Question is just how much reading into the composition of Salvation has State done? Let's check and see. He only knows that there was a 1-1-1 with the last unit that he sent in. Now we have an observer that just now arrived to reveal all that vision, all that valuable info. He's like, okay, well, now that means basically Hellbat tank. Looks like we had some kind of a run by here attempted. No drones killed with it. Excuse me, no probes killed with it. And we have State basically going into heavy turtle mode. Ooh, but Salvation already getting ahead with that orbital command getting set down at the 3rd position in the lower left. There's a turret over here, but the one flaw I want to note about this unit composition from Salvation is that none of it shoots up. So if we get, I want to say, a few Void Rays in the composition, no, just one Void Ray to take care of the tanks, and maybe a lot of Colossi will be good to go. Just an interesting thought. I mean, like, even an Oracle, I think, would probably be okay. Maybe 1 or 2 Oracles, because nothing here can shoot up. Think about it. If you could just get a single Stargate unit out there. Anywho, the first Colossus is already out on the map, and we do have Extended Thermal Lances now finishing up. 2 more gases getting tacked on at the 3rd. And we have 4 Hellbats getting cranked out at a time. Both players going into heavy turtle mode with the factories. You know, there's not too much to talk about right now, so I guess we could just fill in what's going on with the WCS EU. I gotta look at the brackets today. I'm not sure if they've been officially published or not, but I found them on a website that is kind of associated with ESL. And it looks like, unfortunately, I won't get too butthurt about this, but there's no Chinese players. I can't really blame them. The easiest server really to enter the WCS qualifiers overall would have been the North America server by a long shot. Really, the only Chinese talent, the only Chinese-speaking player I know of that actually tried to get into WCS EU was Shi Guo. Unfortunately, he didn't make it. Not sure why exactly he chose to go with EU as opposed to NA. Maybe it was because I'm thinking it could have been for formatting purposes, but that's about all I can think of. There was another player from an underrepresented region of the planet, South Africa, and that is, of course, Panda Tank. I did cast him. I kind of enjoyed him as a Protoss player. It was really fun. Ooh, and now we actually finally have a form of anti-air here. It comes in the form of Vikings. 3 Immortals are being cranked out at a time. Yes, this seems to be like the most Freudian composition, if you will. It's like, okay, well, I know this counters that, I know this counters that, but we don't know what counters what, really. Oh, and this is not a good positioning for the Stalkers. They actually did kind of snipe off 1 or 2 Hellbats, but that's about it. Observer going in here, getting a good look at what's here, but unfortunately it does get shot down by a couple of Marines and a Viking. And for now, we have just half of the Marines we normally would see in a game back at home defending that bunker. And basically hallucinated Phoenixes coming by. Might have been a misclick by State. Yes, here we go. Salvation making his move onto the 3rd. I'm wondering if perhaps he's going to target it down. You know, this is not good for State right here. He's in a lot of danger. He could end up losing this. And the positioning for the Stalkers, you know, they just can't really get in. 1 or 2 do blink in, and that was only about 5 tanks left. Colossi and the Immortals are all back here, and I'm wondering, are they really safe here? Hellbats are getting just absolutely vaporized by these Colossi, and it looks like the Mothership will fall with the last shot from the Vikings coming. And the Immortals will prevail slowly but surely over everything that we saw from State. Or everything that we saw from Salvation, excuse me. I do want to highlight for a moment that the biggest problem with this engagement was that we saw just 2 Colossi, and we saw 3 Immortals getting cranked out at a time. I think the one thing that would have basically dealt with most of the problem is to throw Marines into the composition. Because Hellbats do not have enough they don't have DPS that's high enough to counteract the Immortals' hardened shields that only take a maximum of 10 damage. If there were maybe 20 or 30 Marines, I think they would have done relatively well, but the problem is he would have done relatively better with excellent positioning. But aside from that, I can't really say, you know, I mean, and of course tanks do outrange, what is the word I'm looking for? Well, you know what, Widowmines could have done a good job with excellent positioning as well. It's just that it's such a gamble to really put them down, and they do have such low health that I think just a few volleys from Colossi could aptly deal with them. However, Vikings did a good job of taking down the Observer earlier on in the game. And it seems like we have just a yellow health nexus here. No, not a red one. And we have the 4th base going down for State, but the 4th base for Salvation is just now finishing up in its form as a command center. We're waiting for it to get morphed into an orbital commander, or simply to lift off, come over here, and then morph into a planetary fortress. Finally, we see State coming down here, and he's just kind of doing a slight harassment move, if you will, but the Hellbats and the tanks are coming back. Now we have the Force getting integrated into the composition. Yes, and these Stalkers are just gonna kind of kite their way around, and it looks like 1 or 2 of them doesn't quite get out of the fray. Go State. Oh, that medevac. Oh boy, I was about to say it was relatively revealed. It was, but oh no, we have a bit of a run-by movement from these little guys. Yes, I'm wondering just what they're gonna do. This is just a basically bear exposed planetary fortress. I don't think he's gonna be able to take it down, but he will be able to if this entire main army does not turn around and nothing comes to repair this. Here we go. This looks like a huge engagement's going to go down. If we see Salvation lose this, he could be very well done for in this game. Tanks seating up way in behind. The Thors are also taking so much damage, and it looks like everything from State is just waffle stopping everything that we see from Salvation. The only thing that can shoot up is a single Stalker here, now to be joined by a couple of Archons and the Vikings are taking down the Colossi slowly but surely. The last Thor is right here, but it's going to get a bear hug from these Archons, which now just totally sniped the medevac that saved it. And the question is, did that Planetary Fortress survive? It did not. So we see Salvation in a position where he may not win this game. Widowmine's basically picking up what they can, and I think they just took down a Colossus. I want to get a quick peek at that. What just happened here? Sorry for the back, guys, but you know, doesn't hurt to check, right? Ooh, 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 oh! Oh my God, that was really something else. I mean, there's a Widowmine over here that took down that Colossus. It was just beautiful. I couldn't believe it. So here we go. Salvation's basically in a super critical position right now. He doesn't quite have the units it takes to deal with what we see from State. I'm thinking maybe 1 or 2 Thors. A lot of Vikings would have done it. Maybe a classical Wings of Liberty composition from a bio turtling Terran would have been a better idea. We could have seen a lot more harass, drop harass. You know, I mean, it didn't quite work out. And I'm a little curious as to why exactly he had medevacs in the composition. Both players, you know, I mean, Salvation's on slightly higher income, but he's going to get burned out on his natural really soon. The main is already dry with all these idle SCVs right here. He needs to pull them. He needs to put them to work. He could optionally, you know, I mean, if he felt like sacrificing gas income, which is not a good idea at this stage, he could just basically pick up this Expo and put it down over here. But speaking of, he's going to go ahead and do that with this command center and possibly, I think, more than likely morph this command center into a planetary fortress. Presently, State does not have vision of that. It looks like all these zealots are getting ready to move down on it, maybe do some kind of a harassment move, but no, this is just excellent timing by State. He's like, okay, well, I'm thinking, if I was him, I would probably Expo. And here we go, Planetary Fortress being morphed, it's being repaired, and it lifts up. Hellbats arrive on the scene and thwart the army of State for now. Salvation kind of moving back into the main with that, but it's just hard to say right now. I'm thinking he just clicked it. Yeah, he clicked it over this way so he'd get out of the fray, so it would escape. You know, he's forced into a position where he has to double Expo. That's never something pretty to deal with. And this gas is about to go dry. Yes, just 4 gas left, and it will be done for. Both players maxed out, and the question is just what kind of unit composition do we have? We finally have Widowmines in the mix. The problem is, are they going to be properly... Are they going to be burrowed in the proper position? Are they going to make the connections they need? And that's the most critical question. This entirely turtled ball of toss right here would absolutely get turned around by the tremendously terrible damage that Widowmines can dredge. Sorry, that just didn't work, guys. I tried to make a good series of T sounds. But here we go. Oh, the Widowmines are right here, and they're not going to get burrowed. They're getting caught out in the open. This is not going to help Salvation in the later engagement. Thor does get picked off. It looks like another one will as well. The main army of Salvation is getting just basically chased down. Right now, Salvation has a larger bank to sit back on, but he just doesn't have what it takes to really counter everything that we see here from State, and everything that he has is developing, because everything that we have from Protoss, save for the Archons, gets a buff versus armored units. There it is. The GG from Salvation has everything just melted, and Salvation kissed his own ass goodbye. Alright, guys, this is Breaker. If you guys liked what you saw today, just go ahead and click on the follow button. I'll see you guys next time.